You slept 8 hours last night. Alarm goes off, you open your eyes, and you feel absolutely terrible, not a little groggy, actually exhausted. You did everything right, you were in bed for 8 full hours, so why do you feel like you didn't sleep at all? The answer isn't about how long you slept, it's about what happened inside your brain while you did. First, let's talk about what sleep actually is. Sleep isn't one flat state, it's a cycle. Your brain moves through different stages roughly every 90 minutes: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. Each one does something completely different for your body and brain. Light sleep is a transition. Your body is slowing down but still easily woken. Deep sleep, also called slow wave sleep, is where physical recovery actually happens. This is when growth hormone is released, tissues are repaired, and your immune system does its best work. REM sleep is where your brain processes emotions, consolidates memory, and essentially defragments itself. All three stages matter, but deep sleep is arguably the most physically restorative of the three. Now here's something most people have never heard of: adenosine. Every hour you're awake, your brain accumulates a chemical called adenosine. The more adenosine builds up, the sleepier you feel. Sleep is your body's way of clearing adenosine out. And this is the key, adenosine is cleared most efficiently during deep sleep specifically. If you spend 8 hours in bed but your brain never fully reaches deep sleep, you wake up with adenosine still present in your system. Your brain is physically carrying the chemical weight of exhaustion, even after a full night in bed. So what stops you from getting deep sleep even when you're in bed long enough? The biggest one, alcohol. Alcohol makes you fall asleep faster, which tricks people into thinking it helps. But alcohol directly fragments slow wave sleep, the deep stage that clears adenosine. You wake up with elevated adenosine still present, feeling unrested despite hours in bed. The second major killer, late-night screen time and blue light. Blue light suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals your brain it's time for deep sleep. Without enough melatonin, your body enters sleep but struggles to reach the deep stages. Third, stress and high cortisol before bed. Cortisol is your wakefulness hormone, it's supposed to be low at night. But if you're stressed, cortisol stays elevated into the night, keeping your nervous system in a semi-alert state that actively blocks deep sleep from occurring. Fourth, inconsistent sleep timing. Your body runs on a biological clock called the circadian rhythm. When you go to bed at 10 p.m. on weekdays and 2 a.m. on weekends, you're constantly resetting that clock. Your brain never fully optimizes the deep sleep cycle because it doesn't know when night actually is. There's also something called sleep debt. Sleep debt is the accumulated deficit from nights where you didn't get enough quality sleep. One night of 8 hours doesn't clear a week's worth of poor sleep. Research shows sleep quality has a greater impact on physical recovery, emotional stability, and mental sharpness than sleep quantity alone. In fact, research from UCSF found that sleep quality is a stronger predictor of mental and physical health than sleep duration. Fragmented sleep, waking briefly multiple times through the night, means you never complete a full 90-minute deep sleep cycle. And incomplete cycles means inadequate adenosine clearance, no matter how many hours you logged. Here's something that hits different if you train. The majority of your daily growth hormone release happens during deep sleep. Research confirms that slow wave sleep is closely associated with growth hormone secretory bursts. That means if your deep sleep is fragmented, disrupted, or cut short, your muscle repair, tissue recovery, and physical restoration are all compromised overnight. This is why athletes who sleep poorly recover slower. It's not just tiredness, it's a biological recovery deficit. There's one more thing that explains that specific hit by a truck feeling in the morning. It's called sleep inertia. Sleep inertia is a state of grogginess and impaired alertness immediately upon waking. It's partly caused by waking up while adenosine hasn't been fully cleared yet, and partly by waking from a deep sleep stage rather than a light sleep stage. Think of it like being yanked out of a deep pool versus stepping out of a shallow one. This is why waking up mid-deep sleep feels so much worse than waking naturally at the end of a light sleep phase. So now that you know what's actually happening, what can you change? First, consistency over duration. Going to bed and waking at the same time every day, including weekends, is the single most powerful thing you can do for deep sleep quality. Second, cut alcohol within 3 hours of sleep. Even one drink fragments the deep sleep cycle enough to affect how you feel the next morning. Third, screens off at least 30 minutes before bed. This gives melatonin enough time to rise naturally and begin signaling the transition to deep sleep. Fourth, manage evening stress. Cortisol needs to drop before your body can enter deep sleep. Anything that keeps your nervous system activated delays that. 8 hours in bed is a starting point, not a guarantee. What actually determines how rested you feel is the quality of what happens inside those hours. how much deep sleep you're actually getting, whether adenosine is being fully cleared, and whether your brain is cycling through the stages the way it's supposed to. 8 hours of poor quality sleep and 8 hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep are not the same thing. Your body doesn't count hours, it counts cycles. If this finally explained why your mornings feel that way, drop a like, it genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe for more science-backed breakdowns like this one. And drop a comment, how many hours do you sleep and still wake up tired? See you in the next one.